Professional golfers are in search of one thing. The one thing that can win them tournaments, prize money and a place in the history books. That one thing is the perfect golf swing. It's the holy grail in the game, a swing that is so pure and precise that it can be repeated time and time again when it matters most. I'm Oliver Wilson, a 16-year veteran on the European Tour. Like most pro golfers out there, I've spent my whole career trying to find the secret. But what is the perfect swing, and does it even exist?
It's a stationary ball game. If a gymnast can do a double somersault and land perfectly on a 4-inch bar like that, then the movement in the golf swing isn't that difficult. So it should be able to be perfected.
I think the perfect golf swing is the one that gives you full control of the golf ball. There is not one way to swing the club. The perfect swing is the most consistent.
The idea of a perfect swing is probably there, but the game changing as well. My ideas of that have probably changed too.
We try to attain something that's as close to perfection as we can, something that's going to stand up under pressure. That's why we all spend so much time on the range trying to search for something that we feel is maybe not perfect, but good enough.
Go to any European Tour event and you'll see pros hard at it on the range, continually working on their game. This is where top coaches earn their reputation, fine-tuning techniques to thrive in a tournament.
I always say the golf swing is very simple. The body is the engine room. What do you want an engine to do? Be perfect and never miss a beat and never break down. So your engine is the body movement. The arm, hand and club are the steering. So you want your steering to be able to steer you in the right direction. The brain is the fuel and the driver. So all of a sudden you've got the perfect machine in theory.
The important parts are always delivering the club properly at impact. A solid contact with as much power as possible and control of the club face. And trying to put the whole club back down in position is quite difficult. Those are the only real things I tend to look at now.
But when it comes to a perfect swing, how much of it comes down to the natural talent of the player or the nurture from the coach?
A lot of coaches try to push the players to the same technique. That technique will work for some of them, and that technique will finish with some of them. So that's why I really believe a good coach is someone that is able to find out in different ways the best way to improve what he has of every single player.
You know, there's certainly a golf swing that works for a body shape and a person, and that's what most of us are striving for, to find something that works the best for us. Everyone here has got a pretty good blueprint and are in a pretty good place. It's just trying to make really little improvements to get better and hopefully compete at the highest levels.
In recent years, we've all taken a more systematic approach to help find the perfect swing. Data analysis has made us all so much more aware of what needs to be done and how. Made all the easy by companies such as Tata Communications, the global connectivity supplier to the European Tour. Now more so than ever, it's a numbers game.
My career's been very up and down. I've worked with quite a few coaches, and what I've realised over the years is that every coach has an opinion and it's subjective, and I hated that, and I wanted something more black and white. Through my swing troubles, I learned a lot about basically every technology out there, enough for me to be able to kind of analyse and have an understanding so that I could then question my coaches and work with them and have the science to back it up.
I've been out here a long time, been searching to try and get my golf swing to a position where I'm able to hit any shot I want at any given time. I'm getting closer and closer.
So a massive key is the right arm position.
Yeah, if I can get that bend in it, in the elbow, it just changes the whole wrist position, and then it's just easy to go from there.
Hello, JJ.
Hi, brother.
Leading biomechanic Jean-Jacques Rivet works with a number of top European players, using the latest technology such as force plates and 4D to optimise performance.
Certainly the best thing, with my job, every day it's a game. It's like if I'm playing a game, is to be able, to understand what are the limits of the players and how I can help them, to reach their limits. So you have two independent force plates, which are able, to check the distribution of the weight on each foot. They will make a calculation to understand how this force will change during the swing. We double check that, with another system we have, the 4D motion, which is tracking the 3D, and where we are looking at the center of gravity. And most of the time we try to see how the center of gravity is matched, with the center of mass. A perfect swing, for me, is always how can I repeat the trajectory I want. To have the possibility in the brain, in the body, to find the good trajectory.
You have so much data now to have a look at, to analyze, to compare to other players, to other people, to other style of players as well. It can be quite tricky if you're not under a good guidance from, whether it's a swing coach, a biomechanist, your physio, whoever it is. The most difficult part is to understand your blueprint, but I think it can be very tricky in the beginning.
Are you?
You use technology to try to get better, to understand a bit more what is actually happening on your swing, and you work with that. For me, the most important piece of technology is the way you see the ball fly. That's what's the most important thing. That combined to what I feel when I swing the club, those are the two things that I value the most.
I'll be good.
The question remains, why search for the perfect swing if it isn't born out of the one thing that matters the most, results?
When people say, who is the best coach? It's who's got the best results.
You can get so caught up in trying to be perfect and trying to be technical, and in the end it's about what kind of golf shots you hit, and getting the ball in the hole and posting the lowest score.
The 15th club leads the way in analysing on-course data to assist their clients. For instance, information provided by them was vital in helping Europe reclaim the Ryder Cup in 2018. According to the 15th club, to reach the top in today's game ideally requires a swing that can launch the ball a long way.
This is our waggle system that the players can use to assess their performance over any period of time. So there is definitely a correlation there between a swing that looks good and a swing that performs well and performs consistently. If we look at the top players in the world, they're virtually all top performers in the long game. The top 5 players in the world, they all gain probably 2.5 times as many strokes with their long game as they do with their short game. Combining strokes gained off the tee and approach worldwide, Rory's got the top numbers. Undoubtedly, that's been the key for him to get to the top of the world. It's not a guaranteed correlation because there are some swings that don't look good, but the numbers are there to back it up, and it doesn't matter how it looks as long as the results are there.
The search for the perfect swing leads naturally to equipment technology. At performance centres such as Callaway's European headquarters, experts using data analysis can help a player choose just the right clubs and balls to suit their swing. Gone are the days of a one-size-fits-all approach. Every club can be tweaked and tinkered with to suit any aspect of a player's game.
The typical thing is everyone will come in, they'll say, I want to be able to hit the ball further. People want to see how much further they can hit it when they get new equipment. The second part is about accuracy, because there's no point in hitting it further but hitting it further into the trees or into the water. And then the third part, and this is the most important part when you're getting fitting, is consistency. What they're trying to do is actually make sure that their good shots are great, but that their bad shots are as least bad as they can be. It's not about changing their swing. It's about making sure that we find the equipment that will get the most out of their current swing.
It's a great place to do technical work, concentrating on the swing, working on technique, and then you can come in and then specifically work on hitting numbers. Once you've done that, you've got some feel and a good idea of what you're trying to do and how far each club is going, then you can go outside, take it out there and try and dial it in outside using the different conditions and seeing how it performs on the course. Like all searches for the ultimate in performance, the perfect swing will always be just beyond our grasp. But our fascination with achieving perfection will never go away. When marginal gains are the difference between success and failure at the highest level, our search for greater knowledge knows no bounds.
The body does 4 things in the golf swing. Load the power and position the club. Repositions the club for delivery. Turns to stabilise your impact condition. And then the body helps you to slow the club down and finish in balance. So if you haven't got a good body movement, the outside is going to be very, very inconsistent.
You're starting to see a more standardised method of coaching and you're seeing more and more players with similar swings. You still have your own little traits though. People will never look like robots, I don't think, playing golf.
There's definitely not one way, and the only thing that really matters is what happens at the impact, and again, to be consistent and to be able to launch the ball where you want.
I'd love to believe the fact that if you trained physically in the gym and you had no muscle imbalances and you slept well, you could become almost like a robot, which would then enable you to swing the golf club incredibly consistent day in, day out. The game's changing, golfers are changing, and I think that's all down to technology.
So the search for my perfect swing, although unattainable, continues.
To watch another European Tour video, click here, and to subscribe, click here.